Hey, good afternoon, friends. Today we will learn a function called as Averagea, something beyond the average or the arithmetic mean that the Microsoft Excel sheet or uh, page or worksheet will calculate. So, in Averagea, you can have about 255 different variables uh, or ranges that you can actually find an average of. So when we type average, we only get to put a certain number of numbers that we can actually uh, make an average for. Suppose if you put D3 to D10, then you put comma, then you put D12, D13, D15. So this is basically an average that it will consider only for the numbers that appear in this cell. So I'll give you an example. So from D3 to D10, here you can see I'll hit enter here. You can see here this is uh, sorry, this is something which is reflecting as a number. However, it has an apostrophe here, which would not consider this as a number and it would consider this possibly as a text. So when I click on this symbol here and say convert this 0457 to a number 457, you can see the average goes up to 6924. So when I undo it, you can see the average is much higher. Uh, you can see if I just simply remove okay, what I'll do is I'll select the cells D3, that is from here going to D15, out of which I think D11 D11 is not there. Okay, let me do one thing. Uh, D3 1 to D10. Then I will add 12. I will add 13. I will add 15. So I ignore 11 and 14 here, which is not a part of it. You can see at the bottom of the screen it shows average 7642 and the count is 11. So this is exactly what is showing here, because this column is is being considered as a text. This is the average function, and similarly if I add the word a, this becomes an average. It can take up to 255 values or ranges, and it will consider even a text as a number. Apart from that, the good thing about the see, you can see from 7624 the average comes down to 6253, which means is considering this number as a number as well. So here you can see home, the logical field is set as a number and it has reduced that value to 6253. So there's another way of doing this same calculation. We will go to home, we will go to AutoSum, tap on the drop down, click on more functions. Under this, we'll select something called as statistical. Under statistical, after average deviation average, the third sequence is Averagea. So I'll click on Averagea. I will put D3 to D10 as we did in the other sequence, then D12, then D13, D15, then I'll Click on OK. So you can see here 6252.91, which is rounded off to 6253. If I add two decimals to the above as well, the manual formula that we entered, here you can see the sequence is the same. If I add one more decimal, it still becomes 909. And if I reduce one decimal from both the cells, the figure will be exactly the same. So, different way, same result. There is something more important that we can see here. This is something called as true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false, and true. And here you have a figure which is called as 541. So suppose now if I pick up something here, this particular column, in column O, cell number 2, again you can see a apostrophe at the top. Here you can see again the numbers here. So what we need to do is use shift control down arrow key, select the entire column, then use shift right arrow key till the last column, go to home, ensure that you click on the drop down, tap on number, remove the decimals so that the sequence remains the way it is. We'll just reduce the width to fit the column so that the column that had increased due to the uh, decimals would come back to a smaller size. So now if I manually put, so you can see if I select the data manually, I use shift control down arrow key, then shift right arrow key. It gives me an average of 5939. So we'll just make a note of it here just for reference purpose. The average is 5939. Now we'll use the same Averagea function. Uh, we will type Averagea a shift, then the number 9, which will give us the open bracket. We tap on column number O, cell number 2, then we use shift colon, we scroll to our right, use the right arrow key, go right to the end of the screen or the last row where data is. Now we use shift 0, the bracket will close as a 0. Now you can see the average here is showing as 4266. This is the formula that we use. So now you can see the variance between 5939, and you can see the difference between 4266. So you can see there's a huge variation between the average and the averager. Here you can see in averager these fields which is called as true, the Excel would consider this as a single number which has a value of 1, and false which has a value of 0. So the average would be taken for these 9 cells as well. Since this is shown as 541, what we'll go to do is we'll right click on this and convert to number. So once I convert this to number, you can see here my average is gone up slightly. So from 4266 to, if I redo this, tap on redo, my average goes up to 54271. So here Excel has counted this particular cell. However, it has considered the value as 0 because it is a text, and the average is impacted due to this. So it's very important, friends, if you are adding any data in Excel and we want that data to be as a part of the average or the part of the arithmetic mean, to give us a value. So when I here, so here you can see again there's an apostrophe. If I right click on this and convert to number, just keep pay attention on the column where we have the formula in S4. Currently, as I have not tapped on convert to number, it is showing as 4271, and the moment I do this, you can see the value has gone up from 4271 to 4271. 4280. That means 935 divided by the number of count here is 103. Now you can see the average has gone down from 5939 to about 5803. So you can see here the count has decreased, I mean the count has increased by one. However, the overall average, because of this number that was not showing in that column, has pulled the overall average down. So same way here, you can see now this particular result is 4280. Once I tap here, I click on the exclamation mark kind of square, tap on it, click convert to number, so you can see the 4280 has become 4282. So the average is increased because the cell reference number was counted as a part of the count to get the average. The value overall has increased. So similarly there would be other values also, which are, see here again, it is 215, which has an apostrophe. I convert this to a number. See, my average has gone up to 4284 now. Similarly, this is 939. I again tap on convert to number. You can see from 4284 it has gone up to 4293. So we'll ensure that all the numbers are converted to, giving us an actual reflection of the value, which will give us the right average arithmetic mean or the average that we're looking for. Again, convert to number, the number would have gone up. You can see now the number is increased by 1. It's gone to 4294. We still have some more. You have 522, so convert this to number as well. You can see from 4294 it has gone to 4299. So similarly the sequence would keep on increasing. You will have to just keep a manual check on this. You can see 423 is also there. Tap on it, convert to number, then 900, tap on it, convert to number. You can see the value has gone up from 4299 to 4312. This is okay, this is okay, this is okay. Here again 505. Yeah, you can see it. I tap on it, convert to number again. So this average has gone up by 5 points. 939 is already converted to number. Here 420 again, tap, convert to number. You'll see again the sequence from 4317 has gone to 4321. So you can see the count is already has a value, but the respective value, because it is a text, it is not reflecting in the average. Again, now you can see from 21 it jumps to 4330. So I believe we've completed this. So here 15, this will negatively impact the overall average because 15 divides, you can see the value is 4330, not much of a difference. Then here tap, again convert to number, it is increased by 3 points. Here again there won't be much of a difference. Here see, increase by about zero point 0.4 points. Then here this should increase by about 3 points again. So here from 44342 4437. So this is how you just ensure that all the values are counted and the average is the right sequence. So now you can see here it is showing as 4337. If I delete one of the false columns, let us see what will happen. Delete. You can see 433 something has gone jumped to 4379. So here it has taken the count as 0 and added that to the average, which brings the overall average down, which shows us 4337. So if I delete false, you can see it has jumped from 37 to 79. I delete another one, it's jumped from 79 to 4422. So it is considering this value as 0 and 1. So even if I delete true, the value is still going to go up because the overall count which will be divided by the total is going to get impacted. You can see here from 22 it is jumped to 67. If I delete another one, from 67 is jumped to 512, 467 to 512. If I delete another one, again from 512 to 558. Delete another one, 558 to 4605. Another one, 4653. Another one, 4702. Another one, 4752. And if I delete this, it goes up to 4797. So you can imagine all these cells, the 0 and 1 count, the number of count that is available for getting an average is reducing, which is the reason why the overall average is increasing, because this is the right sequence. And if you do a manual average here as well, it comes to around 5013. It is still not taking certain numbers in its calculation, like this is not taking them into the calculation, which is the reason why the count sequence is still showing at 5000. So if I delete uh, this, you can see my average has gone up again from 7972. From 7972 it goes up to 4849. Similarly, if I delete another two, one, two, you can see this has gone to almost 5000. So there must be one more cell which is not reflecting in the calculation, which is the reason why the average is showing as 5013. Let us do a manual calculation again. You can see the average count is 90 and the average is 5013. Here there is still a variation between O2 and R32. So this particular column, if we calculate, we delete everything completely, still it doesn't change. If I change this from R to Q, let us see if there's anything that changes here. See, the overall sequence doesn't change, which means this is more or less correct in terms of the formulation. However, when the average function calculates, it doesn't calculate the particular numbers which are not selected as numbers, or they are updated as text. So that particular column is not considered. So I'll select numbers, reduce the decimal again. You can still see my average is showing as 4957 and my average is still showing as 5013. So there is a particular cell where the data is not being considered as a number, which is the reason why there is a variation between the two. If we want, we can manually look at it. Here you can see the very first one, it is showing as 1061 and it has a apostrophe thing there. You can see if I remove it, the average goes up to 4969. Definitely there must be some other number which is having that same issue, and this is the reason why the average count doesn't show correctly. And just scrolling down one by one to cross confirm and check. I just found that one for now. These are seeming to be all correct as numbers. Yeah, I can't see any other number which has an apostrophe here, which could be causing any sort of problem. So maybe there is a certain cell which is still not reflecting correctly. We'll have to manually check that to ensure that it is a number and it doesn't have an apostrophe. So we can practice this thing manually again. You will type equal to then you type average, then add the word A in front of it, select D3 colon D10, then you put comma D12, comma D13, comma D15, close bracket. Here we put in uh, D3 to D10 is range is one value, D12 is another value, D13 is another value, D15 is another value. So we've input four values and we can put 255 values in this formulation to get an average of those particular cell references. Even if the text is there uh, instead of a number, and that particular cell it will be counted in the denomination part, however the value will not be counted in the overall average that we are looking for. So if we convert this particular apostrophe, remove the apostrophe, the value of 995 will be added to the overall sum, and it will be divided by the number of counts that you can see in the overall data that we picked up. So if data for the 3 months, calculating 30 days and 31 days, the count would be approximately 91, and whatever sum that we derived in those 91 cells would be divided by a count which is 91, and we will get the average. Similarly, the averager would again give us the count based on 91, and it will consider the values which are updated as a text. Overall, the numerator would not increase, the denominator would reduce the overall average in terms of value. So again, you saw that the true and false, uh, just a moment, yeah, we have not entered this correctly. Average D3 D10 colon comma. I think I put full stop instead of a comma. That's why it's giving that error. So very important to cross verify what you input there. So this is done. It's important to know that true and false. If I add true here, you can see the 4969 still remains the same. Uh, True, false, true, false. Why it's not changing? Because I've removed the column R from the calculation. If I put that column back, entire column back, you can see the number has changed. The moment I start deleting it, the overall average count value starts increasing, so it goes back to 4969. So this is the manual way of doing it. Then using the auto sum drop down, click on auto sum drop down, click on more functions. Under statistical, the third option is Averagea. Click OK. Then D3, you put a colon, D10, then the next value is D12, then the next value D13, similarly the next value D15. If you want to add more, you can add E30. Then if you want to add more, you can put in E28. So it will use all those numbers. You can see it is highlighted all those numbers here, and if I hit enter, it gives me the average, which is 5,8632, uh, 63.23. So in those cells you can see E30 and D28. So what is D28? Let us see. So D28, here you have again apostrophe. So once I tap on it, so look, currently it is 5863, and if I convert this to number, the 5863 has gone up to 5882. Similarly, E30, we've added another cell. Let us see E30. E30 is a full round number. So what I can do is this E30. If I add an apostrophe ahead of it, you can see the 4882 will now go to 5882. If I undo this, it still remains the same, which means that the E30 is not impacting the overall value in any way, because it has converted this. Okay, so let us see if we put whether it makes any difference. So it actually hasn't made any difference here. So E30 I've converted into by putting an apostrophe. However, this cell doesn't have any sort of issues. It is counted the number as the same. So here again the number doesn't change. It still remains the same. It is a part of the overall number. E30 again we will confirm. Oh, sorry, we were updating E31. So if I add an apostrophe here, you can see this value has gone down from 5882 to 5309. So important, you select the right cells, you put the apostrophe in the right cell, remove the apostrophe from the right cell, and the value would change accordingly. So friends, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please drop a note below the video and we'll be surely happy to answer the question, or if you need any help, you can drop a means to connect with you either through Facebook or through any other means. So please drop a contact details, maybe like your Telegram ID, or if you are available on Facebook, you can connect through Facebook as well. So thank you once again. We'll connect with another video very soon. Thank you for watching. Happy weekend.